He's gone up £4 now. I don't care. I think he's the right fence.
Hello and welcome. I have listened to the people. The people wanted to have the best tipster give us a little bit of an insight towards the November meeting. So we managed to get Jamie Wren on board, and Daryl's just tagged along for the sake of it. So Daryl and Jamie are back. We're previewing the November meeting. We've only got Friday's final declarations, but we're going to do the best we can over the few days. We're not going to talk about every single race because there's a lot of cannon fodder across the 3-day meeting, but there is some really good racing anyway coming up. There is exciting races across the board. So not just at Cheltenham this weekend, there's a couple of good meetings over in Ireland as well, Saturday, Sunday, but we've got a big Punchestown meeting coming up next weekend as well. There's just loads of stuff going on. So it's exciting. And I did see earlier a Twitter video from David Cross about John Bond's schooling behind Shishkin and Caribbean Boys. So that's ramping up. He's due to run next Wednesday. Gentlemen, are you as excited as me for the fact that the National Hunt racing game is jumping up? I'm going to you first, Jamie. You're the number one.
Oh, yeah. Starting to kick in now, Dave. Here we go. Cheltenham, Punchestown, Navan, I suppose, on Sunday will tell a lot. I suppose Nace is good on Saturday as well. With hopefully might see Fernie Hollow back. And hopefully Gentleman Lemmy then to run on Sunday. So away we go.
Yeah. Daryl, how are you keeping? You looking forward to the big weekend?
Yes, mate. Yeah, looking forward to it. Like you say, a lot of cannon fodder in there, but hopefully we can pick out one or two that we can have a few quid on.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to try and go as quick as we can with all of this. It is pens at the ready. Daryl's copied my haircut, so I'm copying his little pen situation. I think that's, which is the same side. That's the same side. So we've got pens at the ready. We're going to go through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, chronological order. Very crazy system that I've got working here. We're only going to talk about the race we've got a bit of a fancy. So I imagine the conditional jockey's handicap hurdle, first race. Does anyone have a standout horse they want to name, or should we skip it? Skip. So just historically in that race.
If Sweet Will comes over, I'll back it. Yeah. If the Crammel horse comes over, one yesterday fair race. I'll have a few quid in it. That's about it. After that, no.
Okay, fair enough. And I think it's just key to say in that race, money does talk. I don't think there's been a double-figure price winner of it in the last few years anyway. And there always seems to be something that gets backed. So just leave it. It's a bit of a dodgy race, isn't it? Do we like anything else? I say anything else. Do we like anything in the 145? I mean, Jamie will probably like something. But Daryl, anything from you?
I don't know. I think we should talk about it though, because I could do some help on it, really, if you want. If you want to have a chat about it.
I mean, Jamie will be your best person to talk about this, because as soon as I saw the Glancing Queen was top weight and favourite, I just thought, I'm not looking at this race. I've got no interest in it. Jamie?
I had a look at it. I think that I'm trying to visualize the race. What's the weather like? Does anyone know what the weather is like? Dry. All right. I suppose if you look at it, Captain Tomcat and your horse there last day, Monsieur Lecoq, will go out in front. Will they cut each other's throats and set it up for a closer? Now, the one horse, well, I suppose the Glancing Queen, one of Mayor's hurdle, is a 2 mile handicap in April. And sure, look, Alice Averill was beaten out the gate last weekend down right. Do you know what I mean? Can't really jump. I suppose Amarillo Sky, 140. Will they be protecting these marks? Same as Glancing Queen, 145. They're not graded horses. Do you know what I mean? Well, Glancing Queen might be off 145, but not for me. I don't know why I'm coming back to this horse, and he has won since 2021 in Sandown in a bog behind Dostal Phil. I think if they go quick and he'll be a closer at the end, he's form is shite really. But look, he might be each way better. I see he's only 5-1. It's Grey Diamond for Twiston Davis. Didn't do much last year, but maybe have a chance. I suppose the top two are the Glancing Queen, the Amarillo Sky, but I don't know, there's something telling me this Grey Diamond has a chance, and I think if they go quick up front with the likes of Tomcat and Monsieur Lecoq, I give him a chance each way.
Fair enough. And it is key to say that at Cheltenham, especially the 2 mile chases, if front runners have a pretty decent record, which tends to be a reason why they may cut the market so much. So anything you want to add in there, Daryl, or have we just not given you anything?
I just don't trust Grey Diamond, in all honesty. The Glancing Queen's interesting. She's got a great record fresh. But like Jamie said, her form's a little bit suspect. She seems to do really well in Mayor's Only Company. I know she was behind Long Presso. You take him out of that, she's won that Trials Day Dipper Novices Chase, which is a decent piece of form. If she brings that back to the table, then she could be very hard to beat. But other than that, you kind of are really sort of scrapping around for any decent form to make her to warrant backing her to be better than a rating of 145, and to give away top weight in this contest. I think it's going to be quite difficult. So I could see her having a bit of a drift on the day. Amarillo Sky, I think he needs a couple of runs. This is a horse that won his point-to-point in the spring. He seemed to come good in the spring last year and the year before. He just needed the first couple of runs last year. And I'm just wondering whether or not that's sort of going to be the case again this time around. I know he's going to be well back because everyone loves Joe Tizard at the moment. But I didn't think there was too much between him and Hasanki, sort of around 12-1 in the Grand Annual. I think this horse is progressive. He's had a run. I think he needs a strong pace at Ayr last time in the seasonal return. He was just always being taken back a stride or two, just being held on to. And he just wanted them to go half a stride quicker, and they wouldn't do that for him at that sort of level. I think he'll probably get that today. And I can see him staying on strongly. The issue I've got with him is that he doesn't do a tap when he hits the front. And you don't want to be in the front too. Well, if he hits the front too soon at Cheltenham on that stiff uphill finish, he could be nabbed or something. The other one I had in mind was Malistic, but again, I'm struggling to think he's better than a 144 horse. He's a little bit unexposed, but for me, he let me down a couple of times last year in races that he really should have won. So I'm struggling to back it. I might have a bet on Hasanki. I've got to do a bit more work on a lot of these races yet, but I just 12-1 about Hasanki. 6-year-old still improving. He could cause a bit of a surprise.
I like it. So I think we're fair to say it's a probably competitive race in the fact that it's confusing. We can't have any solid opinions. I do think the first race is a 20-runner handicap. This race has got 9 in it. So even if we get one drop out, it's going to be 3 for the place. And I do think there are weaknesses towards the head of the market. So this, to me, is just screaming out. Make a list of some of these names of horses and maybe get yourself in a nice little place and win Paul Perms, Colossus Bets or Tote Bet, both of them are fairly decent. I still like Monsieur Lecoq. I know he fell at Ascot the other day, but he's got something in him. I'll round off this mark. So he's another one that you could just chuck in for the sake of it. 220, the Novices Limited Handicap Chase. This was a race that's been marred with the fact that Bambridge was given his mark of 143. All the shrewd short-term anti-post punters backed him in from threes into evens, which, to be fair, once the mark had come out on the Tuesday, was 2-1. Looked a fair price. I don't know why they wouldn't run him. Still some prize money to go and pick up, but he's not in it. So it's made the race more interesting. I liked Hereditary Rule anyway for John McConnell. Daryl Jacob takes the ride. I was going to back Hereditary Rule with against Bambridge, and I was potentially going to look at the without markets, but the fact that Bambridge isn't in the race, the price is fairly similar. He's got loads of chase experience. He's got a couple of racing post ratings of like 143, and the first one of those has been franked by the winner. That's come out and won since and is a better rated horse now. I just think it looks like a race where it is those Novices Limited Handicap Chase where you've got horses that make mistakes and don't have that much improvement. But I think this horse off a 137 has been let in fairly light. So I reckon he's got a bit of a chance. I know he has run over here in the summer, and I know he has been beaten off a slightly higher mark, but I think Daryl Jacobs a much better jockey on him, and Daryl's already shit home on him once. So he would be one. It's dead 8 as well in there. So I don't know whether he might drift out a bit or I might back him in the place only market, but Hereditary Rule was one that I fell on. Daryl, you look angry.
No. I don't know. I was trying to work him out and I couldn't quite work him out. I thought the race he won at Cartmel was terrible and he was well positioned. I thought when he won at Ayr under Daryl Jacob, I thought he clung on at the finish. And I just wonder if he's going to be vulnerable at a stiff finish at Cheltenham. There's something about this pull again green. He's got there's something about him. He's got ability for sure. He's very unexposed. I thought he ran really well actually behind Found On. Now, listen, I think we were all disappointed that Found On won that race at the October at the Open meeting, but it was a good race, and you can't really get away from the fact that it was a good race. And there was a moment jumping 3 out where he swung around the bend and he just passed Champagne Gold like he was stood still, and then turned into the home straight, made a slope mistake second last, didn't jump the last very well, just sort of tired, and I just thought he really needed the run. There's a bit about him, there really is. He's got an engine, I think, and I think he's going to come on a good bit for that run. He was very novice-y, a few novice-y mistakes there, and I think he'd come on a good bit. This is one of the rare races where I don't actually like any of the Irish runners. I thought Unanswered Prayers was the other one that interests me. He was due to run at Newbury last week, so he should be fit and ready to go. But he was pulled out. I think the meeting was the meeting cancelled, pulled out because of the ground or something like that. But he ran well behind Napa's Hill in a bit of a pipe opener for his chase debut, and he's definitely got mileage in a mark of 126. He could be better than these. He's receiving loads of weight from the couple at the top of the market. His hurdle form matches up with the best of these. So I suspect he's going to improve a good bit for going over fences. So they're the two I'm looking at in a minute. Unanswered Prayers and Pull Again Green.
Yeah, fair enough. And it is always important with these novice handicap chases, I think, to look at the ones that are going their first time offences, because like you say, if they're going to improve for offence,
yeah, and just to say, Super 6, sorry, Dave, Super 6, he jumped violently out to the right of Fosslas. So I'd just be very wary of him. He's been backed a little bit in the market, 19 to 7s, and I would just be concerned about him. If he starts going out to the right here, he'll be pulled up before 4 out. So
he's only been back because Strawfan Jack franked the forum in the October meeting. That's what I think, you know. And the way he jumped that day, not a hope. He's no chance.
No,
it's around Cheltenham. The way he went that way. Do you know what I mean?
What do you fancy in it then, Jamie?
Oh, this is an app of the day, Dave. And it's unanswered prayers. It has to be like the pipe opener. Look at the form. Nappers Hill looks like he's probably going Christmas hurdle. Lord Battersea rocked up in Plumpton. Broomfieldburg, whatever. Our favourite horse, Daryl, who we always did they leave you out there, isn't it?
I'd never back him again, I won't. I'd never back him
again after the last anyway. Masters Lake, Steve, won at Exeter, the 3 mile handicap chase last week. Possima's won at Wetherby. It's a pipe opener, 126. That has to be mileage. He's getting loads of weight from the top horses.
The one thing you would say though is this is a very, very difficult place come make chase debut.
I know, but I think the pipe opener was there. He was supposed to run at Newbury. They're stiff fences too. Do you know what I mean? I think he'll win. Yeah. I was all over Banbridge. Banbridge now looks like he's going on Saturday. Looking Banbridge up 143.
He's in the Arkle. He's in the Arkle.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, but 143. If he runs in the plane off 143, just give it to him.
Well,
what are we saying again? Bring back the novice handicap.
Oh no! We don't want him to run Saturday in the Arkle trial. Thank you very much.
Look. Another point I'm going to make as well. I can't believe, this was what called really, wasn't it, the steel plate sections? Isn't it sad that we have to get rid of it as a kind of a half a graded race to make it a novice handicap at this day and age? I was like saying, am I missing a race from the entries from Cheltenham this week? And I was like, no, it's changed to novice handicap.
Brutal, isn't it? But that's the way that it goes. So it's worth mentioning with unanswered prayers, he is £2 out the handicap just because of the weight of putting again green. But in the fact that it's going to improve a couple of pounds or like that, shouldn't make a difference. So fairly
bloody hell, a pack of bacon on his back don't make a difference, does it? I hate all that shite. I hate that. Oh, he's £1 out the handicap, or he's £2. Well, he's £1 lower now, so he can win. What a load of shite.
But sure, Dave's trying to say last year. What was that horse, Dave? Birch Day, remember? I remember one the DRF, he goes, "You sure now? Because it's £5 handicap." I said, it doesn't fucking matter.
But it's just one of those things, just to reiterate, because I know there'll be people out there that will be either wondering about the mark, they'll be wondering what the out the handicap thing means, and all it means is that off their official weights, there is a bottom minimum weight they can run at or weight they have to go at. So it technically is £2 out, but that may be used as a negative. But like these boys will say, a couple of pounds of a horse has got a chance is nothing. So let's move on. Do we want to talk about the Veterans Chase? I bet you will, because there's lots of nostalgia in there.
I can't believe Daryl's not tipping Puerto Rico.
And there's
I've had my fair share of burns with him.
There's a few people in here. There's a few people I've been talking to today that have been saying that Puerto Rico, especially the 11 to 2, the proper scummy each way, and there'll be some firms going first 4 as well.
Mm-hmm. I suppose it's the same as that 2 mile handicap, Dave. It's like Magic Dancer's course form won the November meet there a couple of years back. I suppose like the two of them they're gonna go out in front and they're gonna cut each other's throats and hopefully a closer. And I can't believe I'm saying this because of the fast pace and it's 2.5 miles. If they do that, Ballyandy should win. So he still has mileage.
It's worth saying as well. It's worth saying as well that in these veteran handicaps, like the record of 10-year-olds in them is fantastic.
Fantastic.
Like, it's really fantastic, the record of 10-year-olds. So I'd bear that in mind, because they've normally been taking on younger horses. Now they're stepping up into veteran company. They're normally the fresher legged horse in the race. So 10-year-olds have got a fantastic record. But, I just
surely too short for Elegant Escape. So this looks like it was always Betty Emmy's trip. Do you know what I mean? 2.5 miles. And if he gets a bit of a pace to Matt, if they cut each other's throat. But as you say, like all those handicaps now, and especially the old course, you have to be up in the bandwagon. And look, maybe not. By the end, I don't have a strong opinion in it. I won't be fucking wasting I won't be wasting hundreds of euros on it.
Right. Well, on that bombshell, then we'll make sure if you don't actually fancy winning the race, then we'll just button it. There's a Grade 2 Friday, the Ballymore Novices Hurdle.
You're not saying that.
That's it. The Hyde's a pretty good race, to be fair with you. There's been some like big names that won it in the past. I remember when Shantou Village won it, and I thought Shantou Village would have actually won the Bartlett that year, and he didn't, and it was a sad year. But we've had some other good ones in there as well. Coneygree won it a long time ago. Time Hill more recently. Blazing Cal obviously won it last year. I think it looks like a pretty good renewal. Obviously, Willie Mullins, I say obviously, but Willie Mullins sends over Habrisco, Paul Townend rides. I don't know how much to read into that than anything other than the fact that there's no jumps racing in Ireland. So I wouldn't say that it's always coming over to ride this especially. But obviously, it's a race for it to go in. Habrisco was hyped a couple of years ago before we'd even run as a massive Rich Reekie horse and is going to be a supreme winner and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, not quite panned out, but I still think he is quite a nice horse. I think him and Hermes Allen are the two that have got the potential to be like above average in this field. Everything else for me has got no chance. Like this Nigel Twiston Davis course that we've all been caught running a bumper, and it did beat Collector's Item, who's in here now, and obviously it's different discipline now, but that Collector's Item's form is atrocious from the race that it's won after. Hugo's new horse, I don't think is a very good horse at all. It's just literally, I know the betting's there, and you can see that Hermes Allen and Habrisco are like 3-1 and 4-1, but I'm not going to have a bet in the race, but if I was playing in the race, I don't like anything else in the slightest. I'd be semi-tempted just to play the pair and just leave it going because I cannot see anything else winning the race. Jamie, as our Irish correspondent, what do you make of the race? Habrisco any good?
Yeah, I'm going to know what Daryl Carter's going to tip in, and let's see Habrisco. But no, I can't believe, Dave, I agree with you. We all been caught, right? It was getting, who was on it? Jordan Naylor that day. We've all been caught. It was given £3 collector's item. Like, he's 11-4 on hurdle debut, and collector's item is 14-1. I don't get that. I really don't. I thought he ran well the last day. Collector's item. I think he's overpriced. I know Hugo's new horse doesn't look a great horse now. He barely scraped home last day at Wincanton. But how is he 14? The further he was going, collector's item, the better he was. And I thought he travelled well in the race. I think he's overpriced. I suppose I can't have Habrisco. I don't think he'll stay. I just have this feeling he won't stay. Hermes Allen, 27 lengths. What have we learned? He beat Nottingham around Stratford, 27 length winner. He's 3-1. So, like, there's no scummy each way because there's seven runners. But I like collector's item. I thought the further he was going, the better he was. I think he's overpriced at 14-1. I'll have a bit of that.
Fair enough. I reckon you'll get 3 places in the place market with a few things.
Maybe, yeah. Some firm might do it.
You might be able to get a bit on there. You might even just back him in the place only market. Anyway,
yeah.
Daryl, what do you make of the race? I know you'll have had eyes on Habrisco because you liked Champ Keely's run, didn't you?
I love Champ Keely. I think he's a beast. Yeah, I like Habrisco, but again, like I texted you this morning saying I don't think he's going to stay. But look, it's difficult because you don't doubt Willie Mullins. You know, we did that, or a lot of people did that when Dad's Lad came over for the handicap chase or the novice chase, whatever it was, and he won. The fact that Paul Townend did, it's got to be significant. He could have just had the day off in Ireland, Dave, rather than coming over today for this.
November, mate. You know, he wants to go in the Guinness Village. We all do.
Yeah, but like,
get it over a paper cup for $7.50.
He didn't come over for Dad's Lad, did he? And look how well handicapped he is. I completely agree. We've all been caught. I can't believe he's a 7-2 shot. That'll go off much bigger than that. I suspect Music Drive will be popular. Agree with Jamie that collector's item is definitely overpriced. But I do think Hermes Allen could be pretty useful. I thought it was really impressive performance at Stratford, to be honest. I thought he jumped well. I thought he travelled strongly. I thought he looked a bit like a tank. He was odds on to win though, so you must remember that. But he's a point-to-point winner. He's a nice horse for sure. This is actually a good race. It's a tricky race. It's as open as the market suggests, I think. But I think, like Dave said, if there's going to be something that's going to go on, if there's going to be something that's worthy of this race being called a Grade 2, then it's going to come from Habrisco or it's going to come from Hermes Allen. As much as I do like collector's item, I just think he's not going to be a future Grade 2 winner if he wins, even if he wins this. Do you get what I mean? Whereas I think there's possibilities of.
I think this is a Grade 3 race, really, Daryl, with Grade 2 name and listed Grade 3 level, Grade 2 in name. I know, like, Hugh Briscoe has the form, you know yourself, you said it. Champ Kite is obviously going to the Royal Bond against Marine Nationale. So we'll find out more there. Like Brazil is in that race as well.
The other thing is you look down these past winners and you sort of look at the RPR that's been recorded in the past, right? And then if you do that, you can sort of gauge the level of form that we're looking at this season for the division going forward. I mean, Noit Salute ran on the card, I think, on Saturday. And for example, he recorded an RPR of 118 when he won that juvenile race. It was like £25 below anything else that anything had done in the last 10 years. So for this particular race, you're sort of trying to look at something, what can potentially record an RPR of around 140. And for me, as much as I like Collector's Item, as I mentioned a minute ago, his last RPR was 112. So he's got to improve, a good 25, 30 pounds on that to be living up to the level of any previous winner in this race. Now, I know that could be misconstrued as all nonsense, really, but in terms of going forward, that's a good way to judge the quality of the race. And I think Hermes Allen is the one that potentially could notch that sort of figure and be really impressive. But
Blazing Cat was RPR 143 last year in the race, like, do you know what I mean? So it was over the 140 barrier, so obviously a good fucking horse, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's the same all year round. I mean, for the last 10 years, really. Pile of Games won this, Peregrine won, On the Blind Side won this.
Yeah.
So you are sort of looking for a decent horse to emerge from it. Habrisco, I did fancy him for the Supreme, which was obviously a load of old rubbish, but I do think there's a bit of ability in there. I'm with you though, Jamie. I just worry about the trip, really. He hasn't been staying on the end 2 miles, making it look like he wants 2.5.
I know it was his first run. Remember that day at Ferryhouse he ran, and I thought he just stopped to walk at the last, you know what I mean? And he just got past in the end, and I thought, well, obviously he went too quick, and he was fresh and whatever. But it's just like, even at Galway when he ran there that day, it just like I know it was a crap race, but like he looks like he was stopping up the hill. I know God was a big hill, like, but I don't know. I think just an out 2 miler, just go out in front maybe with him. But eventually, I think he just needs a fence maybe at the end of the day. Like.
Yeah, I'd agree. Hermes Allen for me, Dave.
Superb. Well, it is definitely the best race of the day. I'm excited to watch it, and like I say, hopefully one of those two, if not something else, bolts up and does turn into be something half decent. There's a novices handicap hurdle at the end. It's got 20 runners. I'm not getting into it. I can't be bothered to delve into it and find something that I think's a bet, and it ends up not being a bet. So I've got nothing in the race. Daryl, have you found anything?
I haven't gone through it, to be honest, Dave.
Fair enough.
Like those are sort of like 0 to 125s with 20 runners in it. I ain't got time for that.
Fair enough. And obviously you'll be able to hear all of Daryl's thoughts for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on his betting.betfair.com. On Betfair, just go on Twitter. Jamie, do you like anything in the last, or should we wrap Friday up there?
No, I do. The one horse I actually really fancy the entry stage, but I think he's running a 2.5 mile intermediate is unanswered from Tony Martin. But I have 2 in here I backed last time. Alto is one. I think if Fergus Giller got this back again at Ascot, he's beaten by, what's his name of the horse? Dream in the Park at Ascot, and he was given a stone and 4 with the £10 claim. I think if Fergus Giller got this race back again, I think he'd say to himself, I should have won that race. He's gone up £4 now. I don't care. I think he's the right chance. If you look at his run there before, he was in the novice, was it the handicap final in Sandownshire behind Nappers Hill? And Boom Bomb, I know Boom Bomb was beaten yesterday by Impulsive One, but I think this horse is the right chance. And the only other horse, really, that came to, I backed him last day at Clonmel, and why is he bringing him over, is a horse called, I have it there, Hey Johnny for Tony Mullins. But it was heavy ground there. He won at Clonmel that day, and he's like the British handicappers put up whenever £7. He's 110 now in Ireland, but whenever £7. But I suppose the claimer takes £7 off. He'd have to have a chance, but it's definitely Alto for me. I think he'll probably go off favourite. I think he'll win.
Go on, Jamie. Well, at least you've got one in there. The last 2 winners have been 33 to 1 poke today, so I'm just going to put that in there. Right, this recording's going to stop. We'll go back in. I'll send you another link, and then we'll get Saturday and Sunday done.
All right.
Boom.